Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today is a Get Ready With Me. We are going to be talking about a bunch of things. The fact that I got engaged, I got a new cat, I had like kind of a month-long injury that was not fun, and we're also going to be creating this look together. So if you're interested in any of that, keep on watching. Before we get too far into the video, if you have not already, please click that subscribe button. I upload videos 2 times a week. Makeup, sales, beauty, lifestyle, you name it, sometimes vlogs. And I'm only 2 subscribers away from hitting 300 subscribers on the channel. That's been my year-long goal. We're almost there. I'm starting to get together things for the giveaway too, so it will be international as well. If you are interested in that, don't forget to subscribe before you go. All right, let's go back to me with no makeup and get into this video. All right, so we are gonna go ahead and get started here, guys. I'm gonna fix my hair at the end, as you saw in the intro. I just wanted it to be up and out of the way to do my makeup, and other than these little pieces, my hair is now finally grown back long enough for me to kind of put it in a high ponytail situation. Even if it's not cute, at least it's functional, right? So, I'm not going to talk about the products I'm using too much in the video just because I want to be able to focus on chatting with you all. But I will, of course, list all of the products I'm using down in the description box if you're curious on, ooh, what is that she's using? It'll all be down there. So first and foremost, before I spend literally the whole video talking about myself, that's what this is, right? How are you guys doing? I would love to hear down in the comments if you've had anything exciting going on, what you did for the Thanksgiving holiday, if anything, any life updates, or even if not, just how are you doing? How are you feeling? I know in the US we just had the time change, so it's dark a lot sooner, and that's messing with a lot of people still, myself included. So it's been a long time since I did a Get Ready With Me, like a long time. Okay, so I honestly don't know if I've done one since my Tokyo Harajuku palette when I told the story about the bat in my attic. Like, maybe I haven't gone back and looked at my channel, but that's the last one that I recall. And if you watch my vlogs, you've kind of somewhat been keeping up with me, but that's still not the full, like, everything, you know? So even if you watch those, this is not gonna be a bunch of repeats. Doing a lot of green because the acne just is not playing around lately. I don't know what's going on with my skin other than I haven't been great about my skincare routine, so I don't know if that's why it's acting up and I've got all this redness or not, but it is what it is. So I think I've mentioned, like, I'm back in school in session right now, right? I am a teacher in public schools in the US, for those of you that aren't aware. And this is my 9th year of teaching, and without a doubt in my mind, this has been the most challenging year, period, of my career, for a lot of different reasons. And I think anybody who is a teacher, at least in the US, I won't speak for other places in the world, but in the US, you know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. I'm not really going to elaborate or go further, but other than saying it's been tough for sure. So having a little holiday Thanksgiving break this week has been essential, crucial. Like, I feel in such a better place mentally than I did just 1 week ago, being able to rest and relax. So I'm very grateful that I have a job that I can have breaks now and again with holidays. Wes and I went and saw some of his family the day before Thanksgiving, and then we had Thanksgiving with my family on the actual day of Thanksgiving. And this is kind of funny, but like usually, you know, people have turkey, stuffing, gravy, Thanksgiving foods, right? Or if you're not from America, just so you know, that's the kind of food we eat on Thanksgiving usually. Wes and I did not eat one turkey, not one. His sister made chicken, not complaining, by the way, I'm totally fine with that. Ooh, hold on, the lighting's getting kind of wonky. Okay, hopefully that's better. Sorry if the lighting's kind of wonky. I changed my whole setup, by the way. You can probably see, like, you can see higher up on the backdrop now, and it's midday. I don't normally film midday, but it's the weekend, so I'm still not back at work. You have to let me know if you like the new setup. I basically have a new, like, table in front of me, so my camera is on, like, a little tiny tripod instead of the big tripod. Hopefully everything's okay, but I just noticed the lighting's kind of weird. But yeah, I think I fixed it. So yeah, we had chicken at his sister's house, and Wes doesn't even really like turkey, so he's fine with it. I like it, so I'm okay with either way. Like, I'm okay with it, I'm okay without. We did have kind of like more green bean casserole, potato, like kind of sides at her place, but my brother just got married last weekend, so they had, unfortunately, a bunch of people RSVP and say that they were coming to the wedding that didn't show up. So they had a bunch of food that had been paid for from the caterers left over, like way too much that the two of them would ever be able to eat unless they like froze it and ate it for months. So that's what my family ate on Thanksgiving. Was they had like a taco bar, so we had taco stuff on Thanksgiving, which honestly, like I said, I'm not complaining. I'm totally fine with it. Thanksgiving is more about like spending time with family, not about, you know, making ridiculous mass amounts of food or anything like that. So that was kind of my holiday. So I know I promised you guys that I'd kind of make a video talking about like, why I haven't been uploading very successfully 2 times a week, and a lot of that had to do with an injury that I got. So about, I'd say a month ago now, I started getting like really random, like I felt like back pain at first, and I have a sore back a lot of times, okay? Like, it's not uncommon for me to be at work 12, 14 hours. Like, it just is what it is, and I'm 30, so I'm just like, okay, I'm achy, right? That's what I thought this was. This is not what this was. So about a month ago, one night, I told Wes, I'm like, man, it really hurts. Like, it's not just my back, but it feels like pain, like going all the way down the right side of my body, like shooting sharp pain. And Wes was like, yeah, that sounds not normal. Maybe you should get that checked out. So I stayed home from work the next day, like took a sick day, and called my doctor's office. They couldn't get me in. They had no appointments. So I ended up going to urgent care because they told me what it sounded like was sciatica, which is essentially like a nerve gets pinched basically and you have pain, and it's pretty painful. So I went to urgent care. Urgent care couldn't even get me in right away. I had to like leave and come back, which I've never had happen. Like, my dad was joking and saying like, it must not be urgent care if you have to leave and come back. And I'm like, well, I'm sure if I was like bleeding, they would see me right then and there. And it's not the emergency room. That's where you would go for something like that. But I was just, it got worse. Like, the pain was getting worse throughout the day as well, which was not good. So I was like desperately like wanting relief by the time I got to go back to urgent care the second time. Like, the pain had gotten worse and worse throughout the night and into the next day, and it was like afternoon the next day, which I was like, ugh, I took a whole day off of work, you know, and have been trying even to get in to see somebody, let alone be diagnosed and get some sort of treatment. So urgent care said, yeah, sounds like sciatica. Here's a muscle relaxer, like pain reliever type situation, and some lidocaine patches. Here you go. Should clear up in a week or so. So I did take like a couple days, or maybe even 3, I think, days off that week of school, just because like I needed time for the pain to improve. It was so bad, like it just was painful to even walk. Honestly, I couldn't even sleep at first. It was so bad. Like, I say it was painful to walk. It was painful to lay. Like, I couldn't even find a position that was comfortable to lay in. Hold up. I hear Adelaide knocking down all kinds of stuff across the hall. Pause. Okay, sorry. She was in my beauty room across the hall, which is where I have like my office / beauty room. That's like where I store my makeup and do my editing and things. And I'm in my filming room across the hall. Yes, I have 2 rooms for YouTube. I get it. It's bougie, but you know, Wes loves me anyway, so that's all that matters. And she was knocking stuff down, and I was like, there's expensive makeup in here. I accidentally left the door open because, like I said, I was moving around my setup and moving some furniture from one room to the other, trying some new things, so I accidentally left the door open. Anywho, where were we with the story? So, went back to work the next week after going to urgent care. Was like, okay, it still doesn't feel great, but it feels a little bit better. Made it 2 days back at work the next week. Actually went into work the 3rd day on a Wednesday. We had kind of like a little professional development situation that day in the morning, so there weren't kids. and I did not feel right. Like Tuesday night, I had all over body aches. Like it hurt to move. My neck hurt, my collarbone hurt, my ribs hurt, everything hurt. And I was like, this is not normal. To this day, I don't know what that part of it was about, like the full body pain. Sorry if you hear little cat noises. Salem's in here with me. And so I went, and at some point throughout that like PD, professional development, I, again, was not feeling well, but I realized like when we were supposed to transition to another activity that I was like, went to try to get up and I just couldn't even stand. And that really scared me. So I had a meltdown at work and ended up leaving because, you know, my coworkers and principal saw that I was not all right, and I'm not the type to have a meltdown at work. So they knew it was kind of serious. And urgent care had said if it doesn't clear up, like follow up with your primary doctor. So that day, a week later, I was able to get into my actual doctor. But unfortunately, I did not see my actual doctor that I like. They just had me see like a physician's assistant. And honestly, my brother has gone to see her once too now, and we both think she's an absolute joke. Like, she did nothing for me. They gave me a COVID test because I had all over like body aching, which I don't know if it was related to the nerves or what at this point, but I did not have COVID. It was negative, and I knew I didn't have COVID because I've had COVID before, like a year ago, and this did not feel like that at all. So she basically was like, okay, we'll take a COVID test and, you know, see you in 2 weeks if it's not better. And I'm like, I literally just left work because I couldn't stand. And you're telling me to take ibuprofen for the pain. And she even had on the paper, take hot baths to alleviate pain. I'm like, this has already been a week of a struggle and you're telling me to take a bath, lady. Like, I was not impressed. So even once the test came back negative, she wouldn't do anything else. She had discussed like maybe doing blood work, but she was like, no, I want to wait a week or two to see if this just sorts itself out. And I'm like, I literally can't, I'm immobile. Like this, it just sucked. But I felt like they wouldn't do anything for me. So the only thing that she was willing to do was to write me a referral to start physical therapy, since they did kind of think originally it was sciatica. So I started physical therapy. Long story short, that was the best thing they could have done for me. Physical therapy basically said urgent care and primary doctors will label about anything as sciatica, but they narrowed it down to essentially my pelvis has been rotating and irritating a muscle and nerve. I think it's called the piriformis. Don't ask me, I don't know. I didn't take anatomy. But through going to physical therapy 3 times a week for a month and doing exercises at home that I'm still doing, I'm not in any pain now, which is amazing. And I have like a shoe lift now to try to help me with it and all this stuff. But that just like some days the pain was so much, like I said, that walking was an issue, staying asleep because of pain was the issue, finding a way to lay was an issue. So I was just simply not up to sitting down and filming a makeup video. Like, that's what it boils down to. And I'm not saying this because anyone complained or anything like that. I guess I'm just saying it to, like, I don't know, for those of you that do keep up with me and my life and everything, because I know a lot of you are amazing and you do watch every single video and you do comment on every single video. And I like to share my life with you guys. And I've always said too, I feel like someday it's gonna be so nice to go back and have like a video, almost like a video diary or video log of everything that went on. This brow gel is done, you guys. It's gone. The ABH brow gel, it's going in the empty. So I'm gonna go grab another one real quick. All right, we're gonna go with this one. This one's almost gone too. You can see where it's like discolored at the bottom. It's the Essence one. I really don't feel like this one does that much, but I'm not going anywhere today, so this is literally just a makeup look for me and you. So now that I've got like my health stuff figured out, I am trying to do 2 uploads a week still. Didn't do one last Wednesday for the holiday, which I feel like you guys understand every once in a while with the holiday. Because you guys aren't watching YouTube either, you're visiting your family members too. Why do I want to do 2 videos a week instead of just 1 week? Well, honestly, because I'm trying to grow my channel, and it seems like people who upload more and consistently are able to get pushed out in the algorithm a bit more. So I think it would be even better if I can do more than 2 times a week, but that's just all I can do. It's all that's manageable right now with working a full-time job on top of that. And honestly, those of you that are teachers, especially if you're a coach or something on the side like I am, you know that full-time job is like more than a full-time job anyway. So the other thing that happened recently that was super exciting is that I got engaged. Yes, so Wesley and I are now engaged. We don't have any details about our marriage yet. Like, don't have a venue, don't have a date, don't have anything. So you could ask, but I don't know the answer. That's plain and simple. It's not a secret. I just don't know. But that was very exciting. And I don't know. I guess like I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know when. So that was the other part of I thought like while I was getting ready, I could share with you like how we became engaged, like the story of it all, if you will. And I kind of think it would be fun too for a video sometime to recreate the makeup I was wearing the day that he proposed to me. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. But essentially Wesley was like, hey, we're gonna go out to dinner with our friends. This is something that's not uncommon. We have friends that, like, a lot of the boys are in a car club together that they do drag and track racing. And a lot of times, a lot of the wives, girlfriends, fiancés, what have you, will just tag along. So this is one of those times where we're like, hey, we're gonna go to a nice like sit down hibachi restaurant for the end of the race season. So that was the plan. And then Wes was like, hey, we're gonna go early and go shopping at the mall and meet like the two friends of the group that we're closest with and have lunch with them beforehand. Okay, fine. And he did mention that he was like, hey, our friend, her name's Tori, like she has to go to Zales. Her fiance proposed to her like a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago at this point, and something with like resizing the rings or whatever, they needed to stop. And she had a coupon for like these earrings that were normally $100 that were marked down to, I don't know, like 20 bucks that she wanted. So Wes was like, we're gonna go. And he did say, he was like, this would be a time for you to look at styles if you wanted to, because he's basically made it clear like he's gonna propose to me at some point. I just didn't know when, and he's like, you know, this would help give me an idea of like whenever I decide the time is right to know what you would like. So I'm like, okay, not expecting it to be happening now, just thinking like he said he wanted some ideas. So we go, we look, we're both there together. And our friends are, like I said, dealing with their own ring, dealing with their own situation, whatever. So Wes and I are looking. I see some I kind of like. Somebody comes and helps us, and I basically was like, oh, I want a square ring, and I don't just want like a simple band. And they showed us one that wasn't a square ring, but it was kind of band I wanted. It was kind of interwoven, and it's like, ooh, that's the band for sure. And they were like, well, you can buy the band and then get the stone to be square because it was actually round. Well, then they were like, here, hold this square one up with this band so you can see what it will look like. I didn't like it. I didn't like the square one with it, which I was surprised because I've always thought that I wanted something square because that's what my high school ring was. It was a princess cut square, and I've always really liked that shape and style. But I didn't like it with the band, but I didn't want a more like just simple straight band. And the way that they placed the prongs on the circular diamond almost kind of gave it the appearance of being square anyway. So I was like, you know what? I kind of just like this ring the way it is without changing it, which Wes was like, okay, good, that's cheaper. So he basically had them like, they have it on file, whatever. And they had even like pulled it to the side. And I was like, well, Wes, like, you know, you don't have to do it today. Wes was basically wanting it to get that day, but trying to figure out finances. You know, they're not cheap rings, they're expensive. So he had them pull it, and I was like, listen, if you can't afford it, like, don't feel pressure. And I had also offered to pay for some of it, which maybe that's untraditional, but like I wanted the ring I wanted, and I wanted it no matter what that meant I had to do to get it, you know? Like, if I'm gonna wear it forever, I want the one that I want. He was like, whatever, we'll figure it out. It's fine. Even if they, you know, they had told him they would put it to the side if he wanted to come back. And if he didn't by the end of the day, they would put it back in the case. So it wasn't like a big deal. So then we split up because the boys said they wanted to go to GameStop, which I kind of was like, I want to go to GameStop. I like games too. But Tori, my friend, was like, oh, I want to go to TJ Maxx. So we went to TJ Maxx instead, and I did find a lot of good stuff. Always do at TJ Maxx. Maxxinista here, love it. And we left. Like, we went to dinner, that was it. Or I guess we went to lunch, technically, and then we went back to their house for a little bit. Boys worked on the cars. Tori and I just kind of like hung out and talked for a while, visited, and then it was time to go to dinner. So I truly didn't expect that he bought it. Like, I truly thought he was gonna go back another day, or that if he did buy it, that he just bought it and wasn't gonna say anything and had it in his possession. Okay, Salem's, he is just chill right now. He is, you can hear his little belly's running rampant. But I kind of forgot about it then and put it out of my mind. I was looking forward to seeing our friends. We hadn't seen them in such a long time. In my mind, that was it. The story was done for this day, right? And little did I know after dinner that Wes was gonna get up, and he made it seem like he was just gonna say like, hey, thanks to everybody in the car club for coming out, because some people like us had traveled like over an hour to be there. And like, he said, you know, like the car club means a lot to him. Those are some of his favorite friends and his closest friends, and they're like family to him, blah, blah, blah. Thought he was just saying this spiel for, you know, race season ending. Nope, then he says, you know, basically like, you guys are my closest friends, you're like family, and that's why I wanted to wait till you guys were all collected and gathered to do this. And then he proposed. So I'm pretty sure my response was right now. Not because I didn't want it to happen, but I was so surprised that he had bought it that day. Apparently when we were in TJ Maxx, the boys went back and got it. And I was also surprised because Wes had always like told me that he wanted to do it in private, and he did it in front of a full restaurant. So that was surprising, but he's basically said after the fact, like, well, yeah, I had to tell you that to throw you off somehow, you know? I couldn't just tell you what was going on. It wouldn't be a surprise, because he knew I did want to be surprised, and he did a good job with that. So that is kind of the story of me getting engaged. It was late at night by the time we left the restaurant. So the only person I called was my brother, because I think it was like 11:30, close to midnight, and I figured he would be up, and he was, and then the rest of my family found out the next day. So I would show you the ring, but it was a ring size 7, too big, and so we actually just yesterday took it back for them to resize it. I need a 5.5 for these petite little hands instead, so it's gonna take them like 2 to 3 weeks, and then I'll get back and I'll be able to show you guys it more. But it is gorgeous. He did such a great job. Actually, you guys just heard this whole story. You want to see it now. So I have a couple pictures of it. I'll go ahead and insert pictures here so you can see what it looks like. So what do you guys think of that story? I was super surprised, like I said, that he not only bought it that day, but proposed that day. It all happened so fast. And I even said to him, like, what were you gonna do if I didn't find one that I liked? And he was like, then I wouldn't have done it. Like, if it wasn't meant to be, then I wouldn't have done it. But apparently he had been planning on doing it that day when we went out to dinner for months, like all summer long, according to our friends at least. So yeah, now I'm engaged, and my brother just got married, so at some point I'll start planning mine, but I feel honestly so stressed and overwhelmed with work that I don't know how I'm supposed to like even start thinking about that stuff as well. I know that's a very like first world problem trivial thing, but it is what's happening in my life right now. And that was the day I didn't upload either. It was a Sunday that I got engaged, and was like, I'm just in shock. And we had like, after we got engaged, then our friends were like, they threw a little like party for us at their house, which I wasn't expecting either. So I was like, oh, guess we're not going home, and I'm not filming and uploading now, or editing and uploading, and we're gonna have a little engagement mini party here right now. So that came up too, and life happens, and I know you guys understand. But I do think it would be fun to do a video of recreating the makeup that I wore the day that I got engaged. What do you guys think? That life is kind of calming down, I guess, now that all that happened, injury and engagement and all that. I've got work for I think 3.5 weeks for like the holiday season here before our next kind of extended break from school. Because I'm a choir teacher, it's actually kind of a busy time. You know, you would think like, oh, it's winding down, the end of the semester. No, holiday season is very busy for choirs because a lot of people want entertainment or carols or things like that. So we've got concerts and gigs and things coming up. So it's just a lot more, you know, than normal. So it's not the normal just school, just practices. We've got performances and things coming up, which always stresses me out. And I don't know why, because I know everything will be fine, but I don't know why. I really don't know why. I just get in my own head and stress myself out about it. So I'll be happy when it's all said and done. My brother and my sister-in-law and I did go on Black Friday to do the bulk of our Christmas shopping for our family to get some good deals. I bought a cat mansion for our cats. Oh my gosh, I didn't tell you I got another cat. Where's my head? So maybe on a vlog sometime I'll show you us building that or something. But we got another cat, you guys. So Wes has been wanting a third cat, and I basically was like, I mean, we could, but we don't need another one, honestly. The two we had were doing really well together, and I was like, I don't know how the third one's gonna mix up the chemistry of it all, you know? So, he wanted an orange one, specifically an orange cat. And I was like, you know, if it happens, it happens. If something comes up, fine. So I wasn't actively looking, but somebody on my Facebook shared a post from the Humane Society, and there was an orange cat at the Humane Society, and this little orange cat had such a sad little backstory that we ended up adopting him, okay? That's just, it is what it is. He had a little sob story, and you know, it suckered us, it really did. So this little cat is 8 years old, which is like an older cat, you know, midway through his life, whatever you want to call it. And he basically had been surrendered. So someone just dropped him off at the Humane Society. They didn't want him anymore. The post said through no fault of his own. So we don't really know what happened, but that's sad in itself. And apparently he was adopted, but then brought back. So it basically said like he would do well in a quiet household. So I didn't know what that meant, like what didn't work out with the home when he got adopted. But Wes was like, I had shared it on Facebook just to try to find him a home, not that I thought we would be the home. And Wes saw that I shared it on Facebook and texted me from work and was like, you should go get that cat. So this is the day of my brother's rehearsal dinner, mind you. So it was a busy day, and it was my last day of physical therapy. So I called the place just to get more info, right? Because I want to make sure he was compatible. He'd already been taken there twice, and I didn't want it to be a bad fit for us. So apparently he was brought back by the second family because I guess they had kids that were really loud that he didn't gel with, and he was starting to spray. He is neutered, but I guess about like 10% of cats, male cats that are neutered, can still spray, like they're territorial. We don't have kids, obviously, so I was like, okay, but is he okay with other cats is the thing, because we do obviously have 2 other cats. And they were like, yeah, he'll be fine with that, no problem. So I went to spend some time with him, and he was so sweet and so affectionate that we did end up adopting him and bringing him home. Right now he's separated from the other cats while they all get transitioned. He's in our basement. We tried having him in the basement for a while, and it was getting kind of cold down there, so we tried moving him to the bedroom. He does nothing but cry all night. He doesn't want to be locked in the bedroom, so we put him back in the basement and just gave him some blankets and things for warmth. But he's so affectionate and so cuddly, and I mean, he was within like under a minute at the shelter too. So once he started like purring and rubbing up on my hands and stuff, I was like, okay, how can I not take you home? We've only had one incident where, so he got out of the bedroom basically and confronted my other cats, or so they confronted him, I guess. Like he didn't know they were there, but I'm sure they smell each other and stuff, but he hadn't seen them really face to face. He got out, and so the 2 male cats started growling and hissing at each other and everything. And he got upset, so he sprayed my wall. I cleaned it immediately and separated them and everything, but I was like, oh boy, like, this is the same reason the old family like took him back, like the second one. We are not taking him back, by the way. Like, yes, he did that, but we made up our mind that no matter what, we were not gonna do that to him. We're already his third owners, like, we're gonna take care of him. Also, I thought one of my wicker baskets was a litter box because it's square and he squatted and pees on my hand wash only blankets. So thanks for that, Garfield. We didn't come up with that name. That's just the name he had already. And Wes was like, that's been his name 8 years. We're not gonna rehome him, you know. I'm done with the makeup, so I'm gonna zoom out to finish telling you this. So we just kept them separated, and he's never sprayed or done anything like that when he's been alone. So maybe he would have been better in a home with just one cat, but it is what it is now. And like I said, we're not taking him back. We're committed to being a good home for him. Took him to the vet. He had a gum infection, so that probably made him a little cranky. Got him treated for that. And she also gave us some like anti-anxiety medicine for all the cats that she said she prescribes sometimes just to calm them down about the fact that there is now another cat in the house. So hopefully that helps. It's only been a few days. The Humane Society also suggested we get like a little plug-in in the wall that puts out some sort of like calming pheromones for them. So we're trying all of those things to try to get them acclimated with each other. Hopefully it works. Wish us luck. So yeah, I'm gonna go fix my hair real quick off camera. I'm really not kind of hating this vibe though, but like I know when I wear my hair in a high ponytail like this, if I keep it for too long, I will get a headache. I don't know, are any of you like that? Let me know in the comments below. If I do like an actual top knot bun on the top of my head, it doesn't give me a headache, but back here it does, and it's not long enough to pull it all the way up here yet. So I'm gonna take it down and avoid the headache. All right, I'm not gonna like curl it or anything. It's looking a little wild, but I'm just gonna let it live this kind of like high volume life right now. It'll go flat in like 20 minutes, I guarantee you. That's just how my hair is. And then I'll do something later with it if I need to, but that's it, you guys, for right now. Thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end of the video. I really, really appreciate it. This is just like a new little neutral look. It's not anything fancy, but you know, this is kind of like my everyday kind of look. I was using all makeup that I'm trying to use up actually. This is like kind of what I would go for my daily work look. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but you know, just like a little neutral moment. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you back on the next one. I upload 2 times a week, gonna be better with that, Wednesdays and Sundays, and I hope to see you back on the next one. Bye.